different concepts in the sport. Leo K has a state-of-the-art machine with 5 huge aluminum Aries engines, producing 10,000 horsepower. Certainly among the strongest on the Redman TNT circuit. But he's fighting to keep pace with Dave Banner, a wily veteran whose tractor produces significantly less horsepower, less than 7,500. As these two campaign down to the last hook of the season, power and experience have each tasted disappointment on some days and enjoyed other days when they were truly unbeatable. The grime and glory of mud racing comes to Charlotte, North Carolina Coliseum next month. And the Indiana Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis hosts a pulling and monster truck racing spectacular November 14th.
Mad Dog with John Breen at the wheel. Star Monster driven by Daniel Tasson. Terminator piloted by Jerry Richmond. Crimson Crusher with Dale Hancock at the wheel. Crimson Giant driven by Marvin Smith. Clydesdale driven by Bennett Clark out of Powder Springs, Georgia. And Bigfoot with Rich Hooser of St. Louis, Missouri at the wheel. And TNT's own Stomper Bull at the controls, Gail Mefford of Madison, Indiana. They're the biggest, they're the best, and they're all here in Cleveland to settle once and for all the question of who is the champion of the monster trucks. Terminator and Stomper are completing the final time trials to determine the pairings for this single elimination contest. This promises to be a monster truck spectacular, the likes of which are rarely seen. These 4x4x4 super rigs will be competing over a course of brutal obstacles. There you have it. The field is set and the teams are making a last-minute check to be sure all systems are go for this grueling test of man and machine. First up is none other than the Stomper Bull Chevy, lining up on the left, going against a Bigfoot Ford on the right. It's a classic battle of Ford versus Chevy. A down-and-dirty dogfight between two old war horses who faced each other hundreds of times. Now they meet each other in the ultimate monster truck showdown, where only one will come out alive.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, Cleveland Municipal Stadium brought to you by Cougar Fair, the nationwide auto parts motor national Bigfoot Stomper Bully. What's the price of admission right here, side by side, first round elimination. Cleveland, look left, look right, green flag and circle.
Bigfoot powers across the finish line first. Stomper lost its head on a big bounce and couldn't get under control fast enough to beat out the monster Ford. Bigfoot and driver Rich Hooser have given the Ford fans a thrill they won't soon forget. Bigfoot survives the first test and moves on to the second round.
Like I say, those guys are best of friends. I tell you, the last monster truck battle was like a gunfight.
Meanwhile, first round competition continues with a second heat. The Terminator Bronco with Jerry Richmond at the wheel is up on the starting line. He's going against the Crimson Crusher Ford driven by Dale Hancock. They're ready and waiting for the green. Win for the Crimson Crusher. Terminator was slow getting out of the hole and unable to catch up to the big Ford. A tough break for Terminator, but Jerry Richmond will be back and ready to fight another day. The Crusher wins the right to advance in the competition, but he's really got his work cut out for him. He'll have to face Bigfoot in round 2. Up for the next heat, it's the Battle of the Chevys. Clydesdale and driver Bennett Clark came in last in the time trials, and they're up against tough competition from Marvin Smith and the Crimson Giant. But anything can happen between here and the checkered flag. They're on the line and ready to roll. Clydesdale on the left, Crimson Giant on the right. Clydesdale breaks down in the middle of the course. These monster rigs have to stand up to incredible punishment, making this as much a test of equipment endurance as driver skill. The Crimson Giant advances to the next round with an impressive win. Clydesdale broke a tie rod coming down off a high bounce, and it has cost Bennett Clark the race. It's hard to see how any suspension system could withstand this punishment. Tire pressure becomes an important factor. The oversized, underinflated tires absorb a great deal of the shock. The last heat of the first round pits Daniel Tassone and Star Monster against Mad Dog Chevy Convertible. You can bet Rich Hooser is watching. He knows he may have to go against one of these boys in the final. Mad Dog leads Star Monster in the cloud of dust for an easy win. Star Monster stalled in the middle of the course, giving Mad Dog a chance to run again in the second round. This race for the championship is taking a heavy toll on these machines.
Anderson adjustment, the name of the vehicle.
The pairings are set for the second round runoff. Bigfoot versus Crimson Crusher and Mad Dog versus Crimson Giant. Which trucks will be able to survive and make it to the final? We're about to find out as Bigfoot and Crimson Crusher pull up to the starting line. The excitement is building as we get closer to finding out which will be the best of the monster trucks.
Monster truck first round. 2x2 the monster truck.
Bigfoot moves into an early lead as Crimson Crusher stalls just off the starting line. But now Bigfoot is stalled out too. They may have to call this one a draw. And the Crusher is rolling again and passing the disabled Bigfoot. Rich Hooser may not be able to bring the Big Ford around in time. Unbelievable. The Crimson Crusher has ripped its front suspension apart on that big bounce. Crimson Crusher is out of it for good, disabled in mid-track. While Bigfoot remains stranded with ignition problems. It's going to take more than brute power and driving skill to win this championship. The winning truck will have to survive 4 passes over this punishing obstacle course. Crusher sustained far too much damage to continue, but Bigfoot is running again. Although Crimson Crusher has technically won this heat, its broken front end will keep it out of the running. Bigfoot moves into the finals by default. The last run of the second round, Crimson Giant on the left, Mad Dog on the right. One of them will win the privilege of facing Bigfoot in the finals to compete for the title of world champion. Mad Dog wins a close race and advances into the finals.
Don't ever think for a minute that the TNT Tour is not competition at its best. These guys are going head-to-head.
2 have survived to fight it out for the #1 spot.
God breathe, drivers, best of friends, flags up, let's see what's going to happen. Fordham on the inside, Chevrolet on the outside. No! Oh, big one, go! Look at Hooker, going back!
A close race right down to the finish line, but the Ford Bigfoot takes the checkered flag. Once again, Rich Hooser has taken Bigfoot all the way to the top to win the championship crown. And Ford fans love it.
If you own a computer, here's how to get the most out of it without buying lots of expensive software. Get ready.
Week, the Copper Classic from Phoenix and the NHRA opener at Pomona.